Over the past few months, something has quietly changed, and a lot of people are only noticing it when they arrive at the airport. Some travelers are being asked more questions, some are being turned away, and others are suddenly realizing that the way they've been staying in Thailand for years no longer works the same way. This isn't panic, this isn't a ban, and it isn't about stopping tourism. What's happening is something much more subtle. And if you're thinking about spending extended time in Thailand, especially during retirement, it's worth understanding. Today, I want to explain what's actually going on, why entry rules are being enforced differently now, and what this shift really means for long-term visitors. Thailand has always been one of the most welcoming countries in the world. For decades, visitors from many countries could arrive without applying for a visa in advance and stay for a generous amount of time. For most people, this system worked actually as intended: short holidays, cultural trips, family visits, and seasonal stays. But over time, something else started happening. A small number of visitors started using short-term entry options repeatedly, not for travel, but to stay long-term without switching to a visa designed for that purpose. This wasn't always addressed strictly, especially during periods when Thailand was encouraging tourism. That flexibility, however, is now being reviewed more closely. Not because Thailand wants fewer visitors, but because it wants clarity. The key word here is patterns. Immigration officers don't look at one visit in isolation. They look at your travel history. What they're paying attention to now is how often someone enters, how long they stay, and whether that pattern resembles tourism or something closer to residency. Someone visiting for a week, leaving and returning months later, that's normal travel. Someone staying close to the maximum allowed time, leaving briefly and returning again and again, that raises questions. This doesn't mean automatic refusal, it means closer scrutiny. And in some cases it means being told that the entry method no longer matches the purpose of the stay. One thing that is important to say clearly, this is not about where someone is from. These checks apply across all nationalities equally. This is also not about punishment. People who are denied entry in these situations are generally not blacklisted, they're not banned, they're not accused of wrongdoing. They're simply being told that the entry type they're using no longer fits how they're spending time in the country. That distinction matters. Immigration officers clarify stays based on duration and repetition, not just paperwork. Short stays spread throughout the year usually aren't an issue. Long stays, especially when repeated back to back, are treated differently. When the number of days spent in Thailand starts to resemble living rather than visiting, that's when questions begin to get asked. This is where the confusion often comes in. There is no universal entry limit. There is no published number that applies to everyone. Instead, decisions are based on overall behavior, travel patterns, and consistency. That's why two people arriving on the same flight can have very different experiences. This change didn't happen overnight. Thailand, like many countries, goes through cycles, periods of openness followed by periods of enforcement. Over the past few years, authorities have been more focused on reducing misuse of short-term entry schemes, improving visibility into who is staying long-term, encouraging people to use visas that reflect their actual lifestyle. At the same time, Thailand has expanded legitimate long-term stay options for retirees, remote workers, and extended visitors. So this isn't about closing doors, it's about matching intent with structure. So for retirees and people planning to spend an extended period in Thailand, this shift actually brings more stability, not less. Clear rules reduce uncertainty, predictable enforcement removes guesswork, and using the right stay option reduces stress at the airport. Most long-term residents who follow the system experience smooth entries and exits year after year. The confusion mostly affects those caught in between, staying long-term while using short-term entry methods. So if you're hearing conflicting stories and rumors or alarming headlines, take a step back. Thailand hasn't changed its welcoming nature. It has clarified its expectations. And for people who love spending time here, especially later in life, understanding that distinction makes all the difference. Hope that explanation helps you out a bit if you're thinking about coming over here. There's a lot on social media about this at the moment. Don't forget to subscribe, like the channel, put a comment down below, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.